Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Just got done some baseball. Tim said it would be cool to have some racing on, so here we go. We only have 4 races left in this 1992 season, folks. We are live at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina for this running of the MELLO YELLO 500. And as you can see on the screen here, we got a bunch of TV drivers. And the way I do it, once we get to the last 5 races of the season, everybody that is mathematically able to win the championship, I make them TV drivers. In each race, when people are no longer mathematically eligible to win the championship, they are no longer TV drivers. The only exception is this year is the king, Richard Petty. It's his final year. And as you all know, if you've been watching this season unfold, that the second half of the year, he's going back to these tracks for the last time in his career. So I'm making him a TV driver at every race. So this will be his last time racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So he is going to be a TV driver, and he is the only driver that is a TV driver that does not have a mathematical shot at winning the championship. And let's start from the bottom up here. Dale Earnhardt is in 14th place in the points, followed by Jeffrey Bodine in 13th. Ted Musgrave is, Kyle Petty rather is 12th, not Ted. Kyle Petty is 12th in points. And then Ted Musgrave is 11th in points, and Dale Jarrett is 10th in points, and DW, Darrell Waltrip, is 9th in points, and Mark Martin is 8th in points. Sterling Marlin is 7th in points. Rusty Wallace is 6th in the points. And in your top 5, you got Davey Allison is 5th in points. Handsome Harry Gant is 4th in points. Texas Terry Labonte is 3rd in points. Bill Elliott, Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, is 2nd in points. And our points leader for 1992 right now with 4 races to go is Mr. Alan Kowicki. So let's get to the starting grid here for the MELLO YELLO 500. You got our points leader, like I say, on the pole, Alan Kowicki. Outside pole, hi Tim, is Ken Schrader. Yes, it is race time. Starting 3rd is Ernie Irvin in 4 car. Starting 4th is Mark Martin in the 6. Starting 5th is Rudd in the 5 car. Starting 6th is Shepard in the 21. Starting 7th is Jarrett in the 18. Starting 8th is Bodine in the 26. Oh, by the way, that was a heck of a ball game, Tim, between the Indians. Yeah, heck of a 9th inning. Sure, had to drive you crazy, I bet. Starting 9th is Hensley in the 66. Starting 10th is Waltrip in the 17. Starting 11th is Earnhardt in the 3. Starting 12th is Jeffrey Bodine in the 15. Starting 13th is Terry Labonte in the 94. Starting 14th is Cope in the 10. Starting 15th is Speed in the 83. Starting 16th is Elliott in the 11. Starting 17th is Trickle in the 8. Starting 18th is Gant in the 33. Starting 19th is Marlin in the 22. Starting 20th is Petty in the 42. Starting 21st is Wallace in the deuce. Starting 22nd is Allison in the 28. Starting 23rd is Mast in the 1. Starting 24th is Spencer in the 98. Starting 25th is Little in the 9. Starting 26th is Hamilton in the 68. Starting 27th is Strickland in the 12. Starting 28th is Hillen Jr. in the 31. Starting 29th is Michael Waltrip in the 30. Starting 30th is Musgrave in the 55. Starting 31st is Glossenbach in the 90, and the King, Richard Petty, starting 32nd in the 43, starting 33rd, Bickle in the 45, starting 34th, O'Neill in the 65, starting 35th is Wally Dallenbach Jr. in the 16, starting 36th is Smith in the 49, starting 37th is Schultz in 95, starting 38th is Means in the 52, starting 39th is Sauter in the 89, and Shotgun in last, starting 40th in the 71 is Mr. Marcus. Hello, Tim. Oh, exactly. Yeah, not to give it away, but not just extra base hits, but how many times do you get back-to-back triples? Jeez, you Pete, that was crazy. That's more rare than back-to-back home runs. Alrighty, folks, I forgot to get out the bling. Let's get out the bling here. Alrighty, leading us to the green flag is going to be Alan Kulwicki, folks. Green flags dropping. Here we go with turn number 1. Alan Kulwicki leading us here. It's a 50-turn race at Charlotte, 500 miles. 4 more races, including this one, to go here in the championship. Who's going to win it? And our first turn is a middle group of heat and a problem already. Heat and a problem. First up is heat. Here's Sterling Marlin with a chip and heat. And a 146. He's not going to use it. He's going to get Rudd and go from 19th up to 5th. Good job by Sterling getting that Maxwell House Jr. Johnson car up there. Here comes handsome Harry Ganton, the Skull Bandit. And a 4-2-3. And he gets Ernie Irvin. Harry Gant goes from 18th up to 3rd. They're moving already here at Charlotte. Dick Trickle up next with a 261, ain't going nowhere. Bill don't have heat like Speed does, though. And a 4. It's not going to get her done. Here comes Jeffrey Bodine in that Bud Moore Motorcraft Ford. Not going nowhere with a 331. Here comes Mr. DW. He's got heat and a chip. And a 6-1. He's not going nowhere except for using that chip. So he'll use the chip and go from 10th up to 4th. Knock Mark Martin back to 10th. And Mr. Hensley's got heat. And a 6 ain't going nowhere. And last but not least is Mr. Bodine. Brett Bodine with a 116. He goes from 8th up to 2nd, knocks Kenny Schrader back. And now let's see who has the problem here at Charlotte. And it is going to be no other than Dave Marcus, who has had problems in the last 3 or 4 races. Poor Dave, a 64. And that's going to be an engine problem. And we're going to -1 from his repair, which isn't good, because that means poor Dave needs snake eyes to stay in this race, folks. And he doesn't get it. So Dave starts 40th and he finishes 40th. I feel sorry for Dave. He's one of the nicest guys in racing. Cannot buy a break. And that is the problem. Poor Dave doesn't have the money to buy him. So Dave will finish 40th. We go to turn number 2 here at Charlotte. And we got a top group of Reflex in the top group. And we got chips up here, folks. So it takes a 6 to get Allen. But like I say, Jared's got a chip. See if he's going to need to use it. And a 4-6, a 4-4. He's going to need to use it. So Dale Jarrett gets the lead though in that Joe Gibbs Chevy Interstate Batteries here on turn 2. Here comes Mr. Waltrip. It takes a 4, 5, or 6 to get Jarrett. And a 3-3. He holds on. Here comes Mr. Gant. And a 1-6. Handsome Harry started third. No, he started what? 20. No, he didn't start that far back. Where did Harry? 18th, up to first already. Sure. The 33 car is running, folks. And that is it for turn number 2. We head to turn number 3. And we got a top group again, this time stars. How many stars are out? It takes a 5 or 6 to get Harry. Here comes Allen in that Hooters car, 4-6. He doesn't like being back here. He wants that lead back. Didn't take him long. Turn 3, he's back up there. And here comes Morgan Shepherd in that Woods Brothers Sitco Ford. And a 1-3. No, it takes a 6 to get Allen. And here comes Sterling Marlin, who started 19th. Can he get the lead without burning his chip? A 3-5. No, he'll have to burn his chip. But Sterling puts that Maxwell House Ford up front. Junior Johnson's pretty happy with that. Here comes Dale Jarrett trying to get the lead back. And a 6-1 ain't going to happen because it takes a 5 or 6 to get Sterling. And a 3-1. He holds off Mr. Bodine. We go to turn 3. And we got a bottom group of trouble in the bottom group. Here we go, folks. Trouble in the bottom group. First up is Mr. Petty. Kyle Petty needs an 8. He survives. Rusty needs a 10. He makes her through. Davey needs a 7. And of course, Davey doesn't get it because that's the kind of year Davey's had. And that will bring out the caution, folks, as Davey was wrecking here on the backstretch. The caution is out. Davey Allison, first car in trouble back here. Let's see if anybody else joins him. Rick Mass needs a 7 not to wreck. And he joins him. Rick Mass is wrecking along with Davey. Mr. Spencer, Mr. Excitement needs a 9. He makes it through. How about Chad Little? He needs a 5. He doesn't make it through. Chad Little in that 9. Nothing runs like a deer is wrecking. Here comes Bobby Hamilton, Country Time Lemonade. He makes it through. How about Hutch Strickland and that Ray Bestis? He makes it through. Here comes Bobby Hill and needs an 8 to make it through. He makes it through. Mikey needs a 7. He doesn't. That Pennzoil car is involved in a wreck. Here comes Ted Musgrave, needs a 9. He barely makes it through with an 8. Charlie needs a 6. He barely makes it through with a 6. The King needs a 7. And he doesn't get it. The King's involved in a wreck. Not a way we want the King to go out here at Charlotte. Rick needs a 4. And he gets it with Snake Eyes. Nice driving by Rick Bickle. O'Neill needs an 11. Anything but boxcars, and he makes it through. Wally needs an 8. And he doesn't make it through. That Keystone beer car is all mangled up. See if he'll be able to get back out later. Smith needs a 6. He doesn't make it. Stanley Smith's involved in the wreck. Bob needs a 10. He makes it through barely with a 9. Mr. Jimmy Smut Means needs a 10. He makes her through. And last is Mr. Sauter. Jimmy needs an 11. Anything but boxcars. And he makes it through. Alrighty, how many cars we got involved in this melee? 7 cars. Let's see if they can get back out on the track here. We'll put them Where can we put him? We'll put him right there. First up is Mr. Smith, and we -1, and he needs a 6 to get that car back out there, and he doesn't. The 49 will be the second car out of the race here in turn number 4. Next up is Wally, and Wally will need an 8 to stay in the race. He gets her done. And the King's going to need an 8 also to stay in the race. And the King's back out there. That's good. How about Mikey? He needs an 8 also. And he gets her done. Chad Little needs a 7. Stay in the race. And Chad doesn't. The 9 car, the Melling car, will finish 38th. Alrighty, Rick Mass needs 8 here to stay in the race. He gets her done. And Davey needs a 10 to stay in the race. And he barely does with a 9. So it'll be 2 caution turns. And that'll take us to our first pit stop here on turn number 7. Under the caution here, and we'll have a middle group 5 and 6 switch spots. Alrighty, we grab some chips back here and see if this middle group, how many drivers will get chips here. First pit stop of the race. Yeah, it got messy early. He's right, Tim. Yes, it did. Alrighty, first up is Kenny. He needs a 7 to get a chip. He gets it with snake eyes. Mr. Hensley needs a 5 to get a chip. 6 rather. And he doesn't get one. Mark needs a 9. He gets one. Earnhardt needs an 8. Hey, Doug. And Earnhardt gets a chip. Jeffrey Bodine needs a 7. He gets a chip. Texas Terry Labonte needs an 8. He gets a chip. Mr. Cope needs a 6. A Pure Later team did a good job. He gets a chip. How about Lake Speed needs a 4? No, he doesn't get a chip. Ernie Irvin needs a 8. And he gets a chip. Let's grab a few more back here. Ricky Rudd needs an 8 to get a chip. He gets one. And Bill needs a 10 to get a second chip. And he barely does with a 9. And last but not least is Dick Trickle needs a 7. And he gets her done. So all but 2 cars get chips back here. So everybody else will be moving on up to the big times, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Alrighty, let's see if anybody can beat Sterling out of the pits here on turn number 7. 6-3. Morgan Shepherd and the Woods Brothers gets out there first. How about that? The Woods Brothers is going to lead us back to the green flag here on turn 7. All righty, folks, on turn 8, rather. Green flag is out. Yeah, exactly. He's going to hoard those chips to the end and maybe pay off. Get himself back up here in the points lead, huh? All righty, here we go. Turn number 8. As Morgan leads us to the green flag. And we're going to have a duel. And it is going to be the 2 cars in the middle group. It's nowhere for them to go. Everybody's got chips, so that'll end that turn. That was a quick one. We go to turn number 9. And we got a middle group of Reflex. And here comes all them chips. First up is Dick Trickle with the chip. And a 4. 2, 4. And he gets Jarrett without using his chip. Goes from 17th up to 3rd. Here comes Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, and that Budweiser Ford. He's got 2 chips. A 1, 3, 4. And he gets DW without using either one of them chips. Darn, these guys are flying after the pit stops. These cars are tuned up and running now. There's Bill up to 4th now. And here comes Mr. Rudd in that Tide machine. How's it going, Frank? And we got a 4, 5, 5. And Ricky is going to get up there without using his chip. Everybody's moving up without using chips right now. Here comes Derek Cope. Purelator car. He's going to need to use his chip, but he's going after Trickle, who's got a chip. So let's see if they burn him. Trickle will hold him off here. And they won't burn their chips. Here comes Jeffrey Bodine with a chip and 2 chances. He could get the lead here, folks. And he gets a 5, 1, 4. And he gets his brother. No brotherly love here at Charlotte. He goes from 12th up to 2nd. Knocks his brother back. And he's got a shot at the lead here for Morgan. And it only takes a 3 for Jeffrey to get the lead without using his chip. And a 6, 5, he'll need to use his chip, but Jeffrey Bodine gets the lead here on turn number 9. How about that, folks? Jeffrey Bodine and that Bud Moore Motorcraft car is flying up through the ranks. Here comes Terry Labonte with a chip. And he's going to need to burn it. He's going after Rudd, though, with the chip. So he ain't going to get there. Let's see if they burn their chips, though. No, they won't. Mark Martin's coming through. Valvoline with a 3-5-2. Again, he can't get Rudd. Let's see if they burn their chips. This time they do burn their chips. Here comes Mr. Earnhardt in that 3 car. GM Goodwrench with a 3-2-3. And he gets Trickle. Let's see if he has to burn his chips or if not. And they do burn their chips, but Earnhardt gets the spot. Goes from 9th up to 3rd. And last one's Mr. Schrader in that Kodiak Bears coming, man, with a 2-2-3. And he'll have to use his chip to get Earnhardt. Earnhardt doesn't stay up to 3rd long. As Schrader gets up there. And that is it for turn number 9. Here we go, turn 10, 100 miles in the books. And we got a top group of star and a problem. First we'll do the star and then the problem. Yeah, chipping his way up. Exactly, Doug. Yep. Here comes Sterling, and then it'll take a 4, 5, or 6 to get Jeffrey. A 2-2 ain't getting it done. How about Mr. Rudd? And a 1-4 is getting it done. Ricky gets that Tide machine up front. 5 cars up front now on turn number 10. Here comes Allen trying to get the lead back, our pole sitter and points leader. And 4-1-2 ain't getting her done. Here comes Awesome Bill from Dawsonville with the chips. And again, it'll take a 6-0 to get Ricky without burning one of them chips. And he gets her done, a 5-6. Awesome Bill up front with 2 chips. Bill's going for it, folks. Going for it today. Here comes Kenny Schrader in that Kodiak Bear. And a 1-1. It takes a 6 to get Bill. Here comes Shepard trying to get the lead back. Wrong 6, though. And now we got to do the problem here. Who has the problem? And Poor Lake Speed's got the problem. What kind of problems Poor Lake have? 63. That's going to be an unscheduled pit stop. We're still early in the race here, but it's going to take Snake Eyes because of that -1 for repair. And 4 Lake doesn't get it. Lake will finish 37th in that 83 car. Now we'll see who moves up to the middle group here. First up is Cal Petty in that MELLO YELLO, trying to win his sponsor's race. He does move up. Trying to get that MELLO YELLO Pontiac up front. In this MELLO YELLO 500 at Charlotte. You got Elliott in the lead, Shepard second, Schrader third, Rudd fourth, Quickie fifth, Jeffrey Bodine sixth, Marlin seventh, Earnhardt eighth, Trickle ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Mark Martin. Here we go, turn number 11, folks. And we got a top group of Star. The Star again. Again, it takes a 6 to get Bill. Here comes his teammate, Sterling. And a 5-1 ain't getting her done. Jeffrey Bodine. And a 5-4, no. Alan Kowicki. And the Hooters, 2-5, no. Ricky Rudd. And the Todd Chevy, 4-5, no. Kenny Schrader, trying to get her done. And a 6-2, the wrong 6. And last but not least is Mr. Shepard. And a 5-5, no. Bill holds them all off. We go to turn number 12. And we got a middle group of Reflex. Reflex in the middle group. First up is Mr. Jarrett trying to get back up front. Not with a 6, he's not. How about old DW in that Western Auto Parts Chevy? His teammate Schrader and Rudd's up there. A 2-5-1 ain't getting it done. Handsome Harry Gant trying to get his Oldsmobile up front. Now with a 4-1. How about Cope? He's got a chip in that Pure Later Chevy. And a 1-4-6. He ain't going to need to use it. And that drops Alan Kowicki out of the top 10. He goes from 5th back to 13th. Points leader doesn't like that. Here comes Texas Terry Labonte with the chip. Sure, bud. Not a problem. Anything I keep on here is just the leaders. I don't put any notes or anything like that, Frank. Make it short and sweet. I figure I got the video to go back and look at if I want to check out and see what was going on. When I wasn't videotaping stuff, I'd put how many cars was involved in wrecks and what turn it was on and all that, Frank. But like I say, now that I video everything, I figure I can just go back and watch it. Yep. So here comes Texas Terry Labonte with a 5-1-4, and he's going to get Morgan Shepard rather, without using his chip. Yeah, purr. And here comes Mark Martin. See if that Valvoline Ford can get up front with a 2-5-6, and he gets Jeffrey Bodine in his Ford. Goes from 10th up to 6th. Here comes Dick Trickle and that Snickers Ford. Oh, you're welcome, Frank. And a 1-3-1 ain't getting her done. Here comes Earnhardt trying to get back in the top group with a 1-6-4. And he is going to get Sterling, go from 8th up to 7th. We make it to turn number 13. And we got a top group of Smart. Who's Smart up here? Earnhardt Smart to take a 6 to beat Bill. Here we go. 6-5, wrong 6. Mark Martin Smart. And 2-6, he's going to make Bill use one of his chips. And how about this? Derek Cope Smart. Can he get him? Not with a 3-3. Let's see if they burn their chips. No, they don't. Here comes Mr. Rudd in a Tide machine. Rick Hendrick with a 5-3. He ain't going to get him. And the last one's Texas Terry Labonte in that Oldsmobile. Again, it takes a 6 to get him. And no, not with a 5. Let's see if they burn their chips. And no, they don't. So we go to turn number 14. And we got a top group of Reflex. Again, it'll take a 6 to get Bill. And a 6-1, the wrong 6 for Earnhardt. Here's Mark Martin. A 3-3 ain't getting her done. Here comes Derek Cope with Reflex and a chip. And a 2-2. Let's see if they burn their chips. He's not going to get him, but they do burn their chips. Bill holds him off with burning the chip. And here comes Mr. Rudd. A 1-4. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Tim. Here comes Kenny Schrader after Awesome Bill. And a 3-6. He gets him. Schrader puts that Kodiak Bear up front. If you don't believe me, just ask my friend, he always said in the commercials. Alrighty. Here on turn number 14, that Chevy's out in front. And he's not going to stay there long. Terry Labonte and that Oldsmobile with the chip. It takes 4 to get Schrader without using it. And a 4-5. Terry Labonte's up front with the chip. Texas Terry Labonte takes the lead here. And we go to turn 15. Schrader second. Elliott third. Rudd fourth. Cope fifth. Martin sixth. Earnhardt seventh. Marlin 8th, Trickle 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Jeffrey Bodine. And we got a bottom group of Control. I think this is the first time we've had the bottom group without wrecking. First up is Mikey in that Pennzoil car. And he's not going nowhere with the 6. Here's Rick Mass. He's not going nowhere with the 6. How about Davey Allison? And I think Davey actually won this race, if I remember right. No, it was Mark Martin that won this race in real life in that Valvoline car. A 4-2-5. And he's going to get Jeffrey Bodine and go from 32nd up to the top 10. Davey flying around Charlotte. Here comes Mr. Jimmy Sauter. Yeah, exactly. In the last few races, he finally rebounded. He had 2 bad races in a row, that's for sure. He finally rebounded last race. So, Mr. Sauter with a 3-5-4. And he's going to get Jarrett and go from 31st up to 17th. Here comes Mr. Jimmy Smut Means. And a 4's not getting it done. Here comes Bob in that 95 car. And a 1-5-4. And Jimmy doesn't stay there long as Bob goes from 29th up to 17th. Here comes Rick Bickle. And a 2-6-2. And he gets Hensley and goes from 27th up to 18th. How about Rick Bickle in that Dr. Pepper car? Here comes Ted Musgrave. We haven't talked about him much today. He's not going nowhere with a 5. Bobby Hillin Jr. in that 31 car. Not going nowhere with a 4. Hut Strickland with a 4-1-6. And he's going to get Sterling Marlin, go from 23rd up to 8th. Nice driving by Hut. And the last car with Control is Mr. Excitement. Don't piss off Jimmy Spencer. And he's not going nowhere with a 5. We make it to turn 16, folks. And we got a middle group of Control. First up's Kyle Petty, trying to win this MELLO YELLO 500. And a MELLO YELLO car, a 1-4-4. And he's getting up to 5th. Kyle Petty cracks the top 5 in that MELLO YELLO car. Bickle, who just got up here. He's trying to get in the top group now. Not with a 6. He's not. Here comes Bob. He just got up to the middle group. And a 6 for him means a problem. What kind of problems poor Bob have? A 61. He's got an engine problem. He's trying to run that car too damn hard. Takes snake eyes for him to stay in this race. And he gets boxcars. That sucker ignited. Kaboom. And Bob will finish 36th in that 95 car. 5th car out of the race. Here comes DW in that 17 Western Auto Parts Chevy. A 5-1-5. He's going to get his teammate. No love lost there. He goes from 16th up to 2nd. Here comes handsome Harry Gant in that Oldsmobile. Not going nowhere with a 6. Alan Kowicki trying to get back up front with a 5-4-5. And Kyle Petty doesn't stay up to 5th long. Alan gets that. Cracks the top 5. Here comes Brett Bodine and that Kenny Bernstein Ford. Quaker State Ford on a 1-2-4. And Bill holds him off. Here comes Davey in that Haviland Star Ford, a 3-4-2. And Allen holds him off. Here's the Snickers. 4-4-3. And Allen holds him off. And here comes Hut Hut. And a 5's not going nowhere. So let's see who's going to move up here to the middle group. First up is Mr. Wallace. And Rusty's moving on up to 19th. That leaves us with 35 cars still running here at Charlotte. Like I say, 5 cars are out of the race. Labonte's leading this thing. DW 2nd. Elliott 3rd. Rudd 4th. Kowicki 5th. Martin 6th. Earnhardt 7th. Strickland 8th. Trickle 9th. And Allison 10th. And we make it to the second pit stop of the race here, folks. Turn 17. We got a middle group 4 and 2 switch spots. Grab a handful of these chips. Darn, Phillips likes watching us smash up race. He doesn't want to see passing. Phillip wants to see wrecks. Here we go. Hut Hut. Hut needs a 6 to get a chip. And he doesn't get one. Trickle needs a 7. And he doesn't get one. Ernie needs a 8. And he gets one. He gets 2 chips. Ernie's looking good. Harry needs a 9. He gets one. Brett Bodine. He needs a 7. He doesn't get one. Kyle Petty needs a 9. He barely gets one with an 8. Davey needs a 10 in that Haviland. And he gets one. How about the Woods brothers? Can they come through for Morgan? He needs a 7. Bear. No, that's an 8. Doesn't get it. Kenny Schrader needs a 7. He doesn't get it. Bickle needs a 5. He doesn't get it. They're not doing good back here. Cope needs a 6. He doesn't get it. And last but not least is Mr. Wallace. And with boxcars, he's not going to get it. So these crews didn't do too great of a job back here on this second pit stop of the race. Well, I guess we really don't need to move them. All right, let's see if anybody can get Terry out of the pits here. 6-4. So Earnhardt's going to go after him, but Terry's going to use his chip and hold him off. So we make it to turn number 18, folks, where a third of the way into this race, 2/3 to go. And we got a top group of Smart. Who's Smart up here? Earnhardt's Smart. So's Terry. It takes a 6 to get Terry. And a 1-6. Earnhardt's going to get the job done. He gets the lead here on turn number 18. First time Earnhardt's led here at Charlotte today. Here comes Mark Martin. Like I say, he actually won this race, folks. A 4-2. No, it takes a 5 to get him. Here comes Awesome Bill in that Budweiser car. And a 5-2. No. Ricky Rudd in that Chevy. 3-1. No. Alan Kowicki in the Hooters. And a 1-6. Alan's got the lead back, folks. The pole sitter's back up front. Turn number 18 and the points leader. And DW isn't Smart. So we go to turn number 19. And we got a top group of Smart and a problem. So here comes Smart again. And it takes a 6 to get Allen. First up is Texas Terry Labonte. And a 6-6 ain't getting her done. Here comes Mark Martin in the 6 car. But a 1-4, nope. Awesome Bill needs to get him, man. 4-2 ain't getting her done. Ricky Rudd. A 5-3's not getting it done. And last one is Mr. Earnhardt. And 4-6, he gets the lead back. Him and Allen's going back and forth here. Got to be careful, Allen, messing with Earnhardt. He'll wreck you in a heartbeat. He doesn't care you're going for the championship. And he's going to have the poor problem here. Looks like it's going to be Mr. O'Neill's got the problem. Kind of problems Jerry got. He loses an engine and blows up. Kaboom goes that engine. And yellow flag comes out. There's oil all over the track. All over the track. And Jerry in the 65 car is going to finish 35th. And that'll take us to turn 21, folks. After they clean up the mess here, Earnhardt will be leading us back to the green flag. Waltrip second, Kowicki third, Rudd fourth, Elliott fifth, Martin sixth in the 6 car, Labonte seventh, Ernie Irvin eighth, Mr. Gant ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Kyle Petty. And here we go. Green flag is out, folks. Here we go. Turn number 21, getting close to the halfway point. And we got a bottom group of trouble. Here we go. They're wrecking in the bottom. First up is Mr. Spencer here. He needs a 9. He makes it through. How about Hamilton? He needs a 9. He makes it through. Sterling needs a 8. He makes it through. Mr. Hillen needs a, don't need a 10, that's for sure. So Hillen's wrecking. So the yellow flag comes out, folks. Bobby Hillen's wrecking. There's 1 car involved in this wreck. See if anybody else is going to join him. Takes a 9 for Ted to miss it. He makes it through. Charlie needs a 6. He doesn't make it through. The 90 car is involved in the wreck. Hensley needs a 10. And he makes it through. Sauter needs an 11. And he barely makes it through with an 11. Shoo. Jimmy Smut-Means needs a 10. He makes it through. Jarrett needs a 9. He makes it through. Jeffrey Bodine needs a 9. He makes it through. Rick needs a 7. He makes it through. Mikey needs a 7. He makes it through. The king needs a 7. He makes it through. And last but not least is Wally needs an 8. And he makes it through. So only 2 cars is involved in this wreck, folks. We are now in the middle part of the race. So it takes a 6 for Charlie to get back in the race. And Charlie's going to finish 34th. He's out of the race. And now Bobby Hillen. Is he going to get back in this race? Again, it will take a 6 for him to get back in there. And he's out of the race too. The 31 car will finish 33rd. And I'm going to go get something to drink, folks. Give me a second here and I'll be right back. We'll have station identification here. Alrighty, guys, sorry about that. Needed something, I was getting thirsty. Here we go now, back to the race. After that short break. And we'll be on turn number 23 after the caution. And Earnhardt will lead us back to the green flag here. Here we go, turn number 23. And we got a middle group of Smart in the middle group. Who's Smart back here? Got some chips too. Alrighty, first Smart driver is going to be Mr. Wallace. He's smart. Not smart enough with a 6. How about Derek Cope? Is he smart? Not with a 5, he's not. Here comes Morgan Shepherd trying to get back up there with a 4.22, and Allen's going to hold him off. Here comes Brett Bodine. Not with a 6, he's not. Here comes some smart drivers with chips. Kyle Petty smart, double smart, and he's got a chip. He could get the lead here, folks, in this MELLO YELLO 500. The MELLO YELLO car coming up through here. See what happens. A 4.16. So he's going to get second from DW without using the chip. So here he comes after Earnhardt. And it takes 5 or 6 to get Earnhardt without burning the chip. And triple 4s. What a freaking bad luck for Kyle Petty. And if you've been watching this season, you would understand that is why Kyle Petty is 12th in the points, because of stuff just like this. A problem after going for the lead. Here we go. What kind of problems for Kyle have? And it's an odd problem. That figures, because it's been an odd year for him. He's got a power steering problem, and it'll take a 6 for Kyle to stay in the race. He gets to stay in the race with Snake Eyes, but he's going to drop the whole way back to 32nd. Ain't that awful? And we'll leave it like that for now, since we still got more drivers back here. So here we go. Sure. See who's smart. You got Mr. Gant smart with a chip. And a 4.46. He's going to get Awesome Bill and move on up. And he ain't going to have to use his chip. And how about this? Ernie Irvin, double smart and 2 chips. So he could get the lead. Here comes Ernie. And a 2.25. So he's going to get Mr. Kowicki, drop him back to 7th. And now he's got a shot at the lead. And again, it takes a 5 or 6 to get Earnhardt without using one of those chips. 5.3, he'll have to use one. But Ernie Irvin moves up to the lead. How about that, folks? Swerving Irvin flying up through here on turn 23. Yeah, you think? Okay. And Swerving Irvin gets the lead here on turn 23. Let's see who moves up to the top and middle group here. Can Allen get back up there? Yeah, Allen moves back up. Alrighty, see if Mr. Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, can move up here to the middle group. No. How about Mr. Hamilton? Bobby Hamilton's moving on up. So right now you got Swerving Irvin and that Kodak Films car in the lead. Earnhardt second. Rudd third. Harry Gant fourth. Martin fifth. Bonnie sixth. Kowicki seventh. Elliott 8th, DW 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Mr. Davey Allison. So we go to turn number 24, almost halfway, folks. We got a top group of control. Who's got the control to get her done? Oh, Allen's got control. It only takes a 3 to get Ernie. See what happens here. A 2-6, but Ernie's got a chip. He holds Allen off. Here comes Texas Terry Labonte. And a 3-6. Terry's got the lead again, and that's Sunoco Oldsmobile. Here on turn 24. Here comes Mark Martin. Takes a 6 to get Mr. Labonte. 6-5, the wrong 6. Handsome Harry Gant with a chip and control. And a 4-4. He'll need to use his chip, but he puts out an Oldsmobile up front. I think that's the first time now, second time in the race that Mr. Gant's been up front. He had the lead there on turn number 2. It's been a little while. Here comes Ricky Rudd. It'll take a 6 to get Gant. 1-2 ain't happening. Here comes Earnhardt. And 555s. Earnhardt's got a problem. What kind of problems Earnhardt got? 51. He's spinning. Old Earnhardt tried to put the freaking move on Handsome Harry. Harry put the block on him. He's going to spin and go to 20th. Let's see who moves up here to the top and middle group. No caution comes out for the spin, and Bill's moving on up. Let's see if Mr. Spencer can move up this time. Mr. Spencer and Mr. Earnhardt together, that's bad news. That's bound to be a wreck. And Jimmy moves up this time. He moves up to 19th. Earnhardt drops back to 20th. Got Handsome Harry Gant in the lead. Cross flags are out, folks. Halfway point. And you got Handsome Harry leading this thing at the halfway point. Rudd second. Labonte third. Martin fourth. Irvin fifth. Kowicki sixth. Elliott seventh. Waltrip eighth. Allison 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Hut Strickland. Here we go, turn 25. And we got a top group of Star. Here comes the Stars. Takes a 5 or a 6 to get Harry. And 1-5, awesome. Bill says, I want that lead back. Budweiser looks good up front at the halfway point. Junior says they're halfway money, Bill. He's going up there to get her. I remember when they used to have halfway point money, and that was what Junior would say. Your car could be 5th or 6th, and he'd say, go get the money, boy. Here comes Allen after him. Again, it takes a 6 to beat Bill, and he gets her done. Allen wants the money. Goes from 6th up to the lead. And Mr. Ernie Irvin doesn't have control, but Mr. Martin does. And a 5-4 ain't going to get her done. Needs a 6. Here comes Terry. 1-2, no. Last one's Rudd. 3-5. Alan Kowicki holds on here at the halfway point, turn 26. We got a middle, no we don't. We got a middle group of trouble in the middle group. Here we go, folks. Is this going to be a big one? First up is DW, needs a 9 to escape this mess. And he does. Davey needs a 7 without using his chip. And he makes her through without using it. Hut needs an 8. He makes her through. Trickle needs a 6. He barely makes it through. These guys are doing a good job. Bodine needs a 9. That's Brett. And he doesn't. I did the announcer jinx saying everybody was doing good. The yellow flag is out. Yellow is out here at Charlotte for the wreck. Takes a 7 for Morgan not to wreck. And he's involved. Damn, I hate to see the Woods brothers mixed up in this. Here comes Kenny. He needs a 5. He's involved in this melee. They're wrecking like crazy back here. Bickle needs a 4. And Rick in the 45. Dr. Pepper's involved. Here comes Derek Cope, needs a 7. And he's involved. Down there wrecking like crazy. That Pure Later is wrecking. Here comes Rusty, needs a 10. And poor Rusty rolls an 11. And that Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac is involved in this mess. And that means there's 6 cars back here, folks. We will be going to the bottom group. We got the big one. It's a big one. Here comes Hamilton, needs a 9. He makes it through. Mr. Excitement needs a 9. And he makes it through. Earnhardt needs a 10. He makes her through. Sterling needs a 9. And he doesn't. Poor Sterling in that Maxwell House car is involved in the wreck. Musgrave needs a 9. He makes her through. Mr. Hensley needs a 10. And he gets that Kill Yarborough Trop Arctic car through the mess. How about Jimmy Sauter? He needs an 11. He makes her through. He's up to 17th. Jimmy Smutmean needs a 10. He makes her through. Up to 18th. Here's Jarrett. Can he make her through? Yes, he can. He's up to 19th. Jeffrey Bodine needs a 9. And poor Jeffrey Bodine's involved in the wreck. I think that's both Bodines are involved in this, ain't they? Let's look here. Yep. Brett was the first car involved. I thought so. Rick Mass needs a 7. He's involved. They're wrecking back here now, folks. Here comes Mikey. Needs a 7. He barely makes it through. The King needs a 7. And the King gets a 7. Phew. How about that, folks? Wally needs an 8. He gets through. And Kyle Petty, trying to follow his dad through the wreck, needs an 8. And he makes it through. How many cars is involved in this? 9 cars. Let's see how many of them can get fixed and get back out there. Wow is right, Tim. Sorry about that. I'm getting perished. Alrighty, first up, Rick Mass needs a, what are we in here? We're not in the last third yet, so he needs a 6 to repair that car. And box cars ain't going to matter. Mass is out of the race. And he'll finish 32nd. And Bodine needs a 6. Right? Is it a 6? Yeah, he needs a 6. He barely gets it. Jeffrey's back out on the track. Sterling needs a 7. He gets her done. Rusty's going to need a 7. And he barely gets her fixed. Gets that Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac back out there. Cope needs a 6. And he's not going to get her done. Derek Cope's going to be out of the race, finish 31st. How about Mr. Bickle? He's going to need a 5 to stay in the race. And nope, that bites him in the butt. Normally a 6 would have made it, but Charlotte takes one away, so Bickle's out of the race. He'll finish 30th. And that Dr. Pepper. Here comes Kenny Schrader and that Kodiak Bear. Can they get that Bear back out there? Not with box cars. They can't. The 25 will finish 29th. Here comes Morgan Shepherd. Can he get back out? He needed a 8. He gets her done. Last one's Mr. Brett Bodine, and he needs a 7. And he gets back out there. So we got 28 cars still running. And that takes us past the pit stop here. So on turn number 29, we'll have the pit stops, and then we'll go back to green flag racing with the Kowicki taking us into the pits here. See who's going to get a shot at some chips. It's going to be both groups in 5 and 3 switch spots. So we'll grab a good many chips here with both groups going at it, trying to get chips. We'll start with Alan Kowicki. He needs a 10 to get a chip. Here we go. And he gets a chip. Ricky needs a 8. And he doesn't get one. Terry needs an 8. He gets one. Bill needs a 10. He gets one. Ernie Irvin needs an 8. He barely gets it. Mark needs a 9. Excuse me, he gets it. Harry needs a 9. He gets it. DW needs an 8. He gets it. Davey needs, a 10 to get one. That gives him 2. Good job by Robert Yates and the crew. Hutt needs a 6. He gets her done. Good job by Bobby Allison and the gang. 7. Yeah, Trickle. How about that? The Snickers car. Here comes Hensley needs a 6. No, they don't get a chip. Sauter needs a 4. He doesn't get a chip. Earnhardt needs an 8. He gets a chip. Let's grab a few more back here. And Mr. Musgrave needs a 6. He doesn't get one. Hamilton needs a 6. He doesn't get one. Spencer rather needs a 6. Mr. Excitement barely gets it, but they get her done. And Mr. Means needs a 5. No. And Jarrett, the last one here, does he get a chip with a 7? No, he doesn't. Alrighty, folks, we'll move everybody up. Ricky was the only one in the top group that didn't get a chip. Alrighty. We had what? Here we go. We'll move these 2 guys up. Let's see if anybody can beat Allen out of the pits here. And a 5-6. No. The Hooters crew comes through. We make it to turn 30. 300 miles. Here we go, folks. And we got a bottom group of problem in the bottom group. Are we out of triangle drivers? Is all the triangle drivers out of the race? No, it's poor Jimmy Means. Jimmy Smut Means. He's got a 35. He's tight. He'll stay in the race. He'll drop back to 28th. Let's see who's going to move up here. First chance is Mikey. Not with a 5. He's not. How about the King? The King's moving up. Nice to see the King crack the top 19. Alrighty, we go to turn 31. Here we go, folks. We got a top group of Reflex. All these chips are coming after Allen. Takes a 6 to beat him. And a 4 or 5. No. Here comes the first chip is Harry Gant. And a triple 5s. Handsome Harry's got an issue. What kind of problems Handsome Harry got? cut tire causes a wreck. Trouble, repair roll. Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out, and I never took it off. So that'll stop this turn, folks. And Handsome Harry wrecks here on turn number 31. Let's see if they can repair this Oldsmobile. That wasn't Handsome Harry Gant. That was Jimmy Means. And what did I do? Put the wrong guy back there. So Handsome Harry wrecks. And it takes we're still in the middle part of the race, ain't it? Yeah. Takes a 9. So -1 at 8 for Harry to get back in this race. And he barely gets back in there. So the yellow's out. Everybody will move up. As Harry gets that Oldsmobile fixed. See if he can rebound from this wreck. Mikey moves up to the top middle group, rather. Here we go. We still got 28 cars running. So we make it to turn 32. Green flag comes out, as I forgot the last time. And here's Alan Kowicki on turn 33, leading us to the green. And it's a top group of control. Here comes some chips after him. Again, it takes a 6 to get him. DW with the chip. 4 or 5, he doesn't get him. So let's see if they burn their chips. No, they don't. Here's Ricky Rudd coming after him. 3-1, he doesn't get him. Mark Martin says, let me take a shot at him. A 2-3 doesn't get him. Will they burn their chips? No. Awesome Bill's got 2 chances at him. A 3-5. Bill's got to burn his chip and make him burn it. And that way he's got a shot at him. Now if he gets a 6, he'll get him. 6-2 ain't happening. Texas Terry Labonte with the chip. And a 6-3, but he'll use his chip and get Allen. He'll take over the lead here on turn number 33. All righty, folks. We go to turn 34, almost 2/3 of the way done this race. Here we go. And we got a bottom group of stars. Who's the stars back here? Poor Handsome Harry. That's the only quality he doesn't have. Jeffrey Bowdine's a star with a 4.65. And he's going to get the king and go from 26 up to 18th. Sterling Marlin trying to get out of the rear with the gear for junior with a 1.62. And he's going to get Mikey. Go from 25th up to 19th. Next up is Morgan Shepherd. Get that Woods Brothers up front, boy. With a 1.55. And he's going to get Jarrett. Go from 23rd up to 17th. Here comes Brett Bodine in that Quaker State Ford. Not going nowhere with a 6. How about Mr. Kyle Petty in that MELLO yellow car trying to rebound? A 4.21. And he ain't going to get nobody. Let's see here. Nope, Trickle holds him off without using his chip. And that is it for turn number 34. On to turn 35. 2/3 of the way done this race, folks. And we got a duel. That's a 9. That is going to be the 5 cars back here. It's going to be Shepherd and Hamilton. Does Morgan want to give it a shot here? Morgan's going to give it a shot. And he gets her done. He gets Hensley. Puts old Jimmy in a bad spot. But Jimmy needs a 10 not to wreck. He can escape this mess, can he? Barely with the 9. On to turn 36. We got a top group of star in the top group. Takes a 6 to beat him. Here's Ricky Rudd. A 6-6 ain't happening. Ernie Irvan, 2 chances with him and a chip. 4-4, no. He'll give it another shot and see if he doesn't have to burn that chip. 3-2, but he has to burn the chip. But Ernie puts that 4 back up front. Here on turn 36. Here comes Bill after him. And it takes a 5 or 6 to get Ernie. And a 4-4 ain't happening. Here comes Alan Kowicki after him. And a 5-1. He holds them off. Swerving Irvin doing his job. So we go to the pits here. Turn 37. And we got a middle group 1 and 2 switch spots. A lot of chips already back here in this middle group. Sure, they're going to be loaded for bear. Man, Davey could end up with 3 chips here. Some of these guys could end up with 2. Let's grab some of them back here. As we drop 1. Where did it go? Which way did it go, George? Which way did it go? And there she is. Okay. And here we go. First up is Mr. Trickle. See if Dick Trickle can get a second chip. It'll take a 7 for him to get 1. He gets a second chip. Earnhardt needs an 8. He doesn't get 1. Davey needs a 10 to get a third one. Barely gets it with the double 5s. Hutch Strickland needs a 6 to get a second chip. No. And Spencer needs a 6. No. Morgan needs a 7. No. Sauter needs a 4. No. These crews ain't doing well. Musgrave needs a 6. No. Hamilton needs a 6. Not with double 6s, he said. Hensley needs a 6. He gets her done. Cale Yarborough on that Trop-Arctic team gets her done. How about Bud Moore and Jeffrey Bodine needs a 7? No. Last but not least, Junior Johnson and that Maxwell House crew with a 7. They get it done. Only needed that. They needed an 8. They get her done. Alrighty, let's move these guys up here in the top group with their chips. Mark Martin and DW move up. Alrighty. Only 4 cars back here in the middle group don't have chips, and a lot of them have multiple chips. Let's see if anybody can beat Ernie out of the pits. A 4-1. Alan Kowicki gets the lead back here. Nice job by that Hooters crew. Here on turn 37. Alrighty, we go to turn 38, folks. Getting close to the end here. Almost 400 miles in the books. And we get a bottom group of control. Here comes Harry Gant with a 4-5-3. And he gets Sauter, goes from 28th up to 16th. Here comes Jimmy Smut Means with a 3-5-5. And Handsome Harry's not going to stay there. Well, no, that's Ted Musgrave. He gets Ted and goes up to 17th. Here comes Mikey with a 4-2-6. And he's going to make Davey burn one of his chips. Here comes Brett Bodine with a 3.56. And Jimmy doesn't stay there long. Brett goes from 22nd up to 17th. Here's Cal Petty in that mellow yellow Pontiac with a 4.46. And he's going to make Hensley burn one of his chips, or his only chip. We go to turn 39. And we got a rare problem and a problem in the top group. First, we'll do the rare problem. A 36. That's a black flag. A black flag is out, folks. The black flag is out. Who are they black flagging in the top group? And it is Terry Labonte's getting a black flag for fluid leaking on the track. So, see if they can get this car fixed there. He'll drop back to 28th. Let's see who moves up. Then we'll see who has the other problem here. So, Dick Trickle's moving on up with 2 chips. He's going to be tough here near the end of the race. Sure, come on now. Everybody's chip wants to fall all over the place. All righty, let's see if Wally can move on up. Yes, he can. We still got the other problem. And it's going to be poor Mr. Jimmy Means here. It's got a problem again. 52. He's got a clutch problem unless he's a pit crew A, and I'm sure he's not. And he's not. And it's late in the race, so the 52 car is going to finish 28th. And everybody will move up. And we got 27 cars still running here at Charlotte. And we got Kowicki in the lead, Martin second, Waltrip third, Elliott fourth, Ernie Irvin fifth, Rudd sixth, Trickle seventh, Earnhardt eighth, Allison ninth, Strickland rounding out the top 10 as we go to turn 40, 400 miles in the books. And we got a top group of Reflex. And here comes some chips, folks. Dick Trickle's got 2 chips. It takes a 6 to get Allen. And he rolls a 6-6, so he'll have to burn one of the chips. But he gets Allen and puts that Ford up front, folks. How about that late in the race? Dick Trickle here, 100 miles to go. Can he hold them off? Can he hold them off, folks? Here comes Rudd after him. It takes a 5 or a 6 to get Trickle. And a 2-4 ain't happening. Here comes Bill. And a 2-1 ain't happening. Here comes DW. And a 4-6. He gets him. Trickle's going to use his chip to hold him off, but Waltrip's got a chip to get him. So Waltrip takes over the lead, puts that Western Auto Parts car out in front here on turn 40. And here comes Mark Martin with a chip. It takes a 5 or a 6 to get DW. And a 4-1, so Martin's going to have to use his chip. He put that Valvoline car out in front. Like I say, he actually won this race, folks, in real life. Here we go. 100 miles to go, folks. Turn 41. And we got a middle group of Star in the middle group. And here's some chips are coming. Here they come. First up is Jeffrey Bodine. Now 6-1 ain't going nowhere. Worst die roll you can have. Can't get no worse than that. And that's for sure. Next up is Bobby Hamilton. The 6-4 ain't happening. Brett Bodine. 3-1 ain't happening. These guys don't want to move up. Here's Sterling Marlin with a chip. And 1-6-5. And he's going to get Allen without using his chip. Knocks Allen back to 14th. The pole sitter and our points leader back to 14th late in the race. Here comes Morgan Shepherd with a chip. And 4-6-5. And he's going to get Sterling. Are they going to use their chips? As I throw the dice all over the place. Yes, they will. Morgan moves from 12th up to 7th, knocks the 22 car back. They burn their chips to do it. And here comes Hut with a chip. And 4-6-1. He'll use his chip. Morgan doesn't stay up there long. Drops Morgan back to 10th. They're burning chips left and right, folks. Here comes Davey Allison with 2 chips and star quality. So even if he doesn't make these without using the chips, he's going to get the lead, folks. And a 4-6-5. He gets Ricky Rudd without using either one of those chips. So he's coming after Mark Martin with 2 chips. Davey looking strong here. And it only takes a 4 to get Mark without using the chip. But he's going to need to burn one of them with a 1-2. But Davey puts that Haviland Ford out in front here on turn 41. How about that, folks? First time Davey's been up front. He like the silver fox. I said that the other race. He just lurks and lurks and lurks. And here comes Earnhardt with a chip. And 6-5-5. He's going to need to burn his chip. But he gets 6 away from Mark Martin. I burned a lot of chips up that time, folks. We make it to turn 42. And we got a bottom group of star. Who's stars back here? Texas Terry Labonte's a star. A 3-4-2. And Harry Gant holds him off. Ted Musgrave, we haven't talked much about that Jasper car today. And he ain't going nowhere with a 5. How about the King? Get up there, boy. A 2-2-5. And he gets Morgan Shepherd. The Woods brothers and the Petties are battling. And the Petties win, knocks Morgan back to 24th. Mikey's up with a 2-4-2. And Allen's going to hold him off. Here comes Jarrett. What can Jarrett do for you? Nothing with a 5. And here comes Cal Petty. He's been back here all day. Just can't get no traction. He made it up front. Was going for the lead and had problems. And a 6 ain't going nowhere. We make it to turn 43. And we got a duel of the 6 cars in the bottom group. Wally's not going to chance it. But old Jeffrey, we know he's going to try it. He's going after the King here. And he gets the King. Puts the King in bad spot late in the race. But Jeffrey don't care. Takes a 7 for the King to escape this mess. And he does. No harm, no foul, I guess. Let's get rid of that black flag for Texas Terry Labonte. As we make it to turn 44. And we got a middle group of heat and 2 problems. 2 problems back here. First is heat. Who's bringing the heat? Wally's bringing some heat. and 162. And he's going to get Hut Hut, go from 19th up to 7th. Here's the king with heat. 151 ain't getting her done. Here's Brett Bodine with a 464. And Wally doesn't stay there long. Brett Bodine puts that Quaker State forward up there. Here comes Harry Gant with a 342. And Ernie barely holds him off. Wiki doesn't have heat, but Sterling has the heat. The heat is on, a 363, and Brett holds him off. And here comes Jeffrey Bodine with heat and a chip. 615, he gets DW with his chip, goes from 10th up to 2nd. Jeffrey Bodine trying to win this MELLO YELLO 500. Here comes Terry Labonte with a 554. And that ain't happening with a 4 gas pedal. Last but not least is Mark Martin with 2 chances here. And a 516. He gets Jeffrey Bodine. And now he's got a shot at the lead here. And it takes a 5 or a 6 to get Davey. And a 6-1 he doesn't. And now we got the problem, and there's no more triangle. So let's see who has the problem back here in the middle group. 35. That's going to be the 3 odd car. Jimmy Hensley's has the problem. What kind of problems Mr. Hensley have? 33. That's an odd problem unless he's a pit crew of an A, and he is. So they don't have no problem. That crew says there ain't no problem with that car. Keep going, Jimmy. Keep going. Turn 45. And we got a top group of smart. Who's smart up here? Jeffrey Bodine smart. Takes a 5 or 6 to get Davey. Here comes Brett Bodine. 5-5. And he's a 4, so he doesn't get her done. Earnhardt's smart. And a 5-2 ain't getting her done. Ernie Irvin's double smart. 2-1 didn't get him the first time. 6-4 didn't get him the second time. Here comes Bill. 1-3, no. And the last smart driver in the top group's Mark Martin. A 3-6, he gets Davey, but Davey's got that chip to hold him off. We go to turn 46. 50 miles to go, folks. We got a middle group of Reflex. Here comes Hut Hut. A 5 ain't getting her done. Here comes the King. A 2-3-6. He gets Bill, goes from 18th up to 4th. Knocks awesome Bill back to 18th. And the King is on the move. On the move. Next up is Bobby Hamilton. A 3-2-4. He gets Trickle, goes from 17th up to 3rd. Here comes Wally. A 1-1 ain't getting her. Harry Gant. A 3-4-5. He gets Ernie Irvin, goes from 15th up to 5th. Alan Kowicki, 2 chances. Could get the lead here from Davey. A 5-3-4. And Harry holds him off. And a 2-5-6. He gets Earnhardt, goes from 14th up to 6th. Here comes Mr. Excitement with a chip. A 2-5-3. He gets Alan Kowicki by burning his chip, knocks Alan back to 11th. Alan's lucky to get out of there with not reckoning with Mr. Excitement. Here comes DW. A 5-1-2. And Mark holds him off. Here comes Ricky Rudd. Jeffrey's next. A 3.66. Ricky goes from ninth up to sixth, knocks the other Bodine brother back. Here's Jeffrey with two chances here. He could get the lead. A 4.15. He gets second from Mark Martin, and now he's going after Davey. Takes a 6 to get Davey. And a 2.3. No, that ain't happening. We make it to turn number 47. The money stop, folks. Last pit stop of the race. Bummer's right, Tim. Yeah, Bummer's right if you're talking about Awesome Bill. Here we go with the pit stops. The only thing we can hope for is it's a middle group. And it's not. 6 and 4 switch. It's a top group. Moves Bill up a little bit. Moves him up to 14th. And now for the chips in the top group. Alrighty, let's see here. Davey needs a 10. He gets a chip. Jeffrey needs a 7. He gets a chip. Bobby needs a 6. He doesn't get one. The King needs a 5. He doesn't get one. Rudd needs an 8. He gets one. Spencer needs a 6. He gets one. How about that? The 98 crew doing a good job. And Harry needs a 9. And he gets one. So just 2 out of the 8 didn't get one. That's Hamilton and the King. Everybody else moves up. And let's see if anybody can beat Davey out of the pits here. 1-4. Jeffrey beats him out of pits, but Davey will use his chip to hold him off. 30 miles to go, folks. Turn 48. And we got a middle group of trouble in the middle group. Here we go, folks. Here we go. This could end the race here, folks. This could end the race right here. Davey could win this race. Depends on how many cars wreck. First up is Mark Martin. He needs a 8 to escape. And he doesn't. Mark Martin, who won this race in real life, is involved in the wreck. So that's one yellow flag turn. If 2 more cars is involved, this race is over, folks. So here we go. Brett Bodine needs a 9, and he's involved in the wreck. There's 2 cars, 1 more car, and this race is over. We will end under yellow, folks. Here's DW needs a 9. He makes it through. Allen needs a 9. He makes it through. Sterling needs an 8. He makes it through. Jimmy needs a 10. He makes it through. Bill needs a 10. He makes it through. Hut needs an 8. And he doesn't make it through. So that will be the race, folks. That will be the race. That'll cause 2 turns of caution. And here comes Mr. Dollenbach. Can he make it through with an 8? He barely makes her through. Mr. Trickle needs a 6. He makes it through. Earnhardt needs a 10. He barely makes it through with a 10. And Ernie Irvin needs a 6. And he doesn't make it through. We will not be going to the bottom group. Only 4 cars was involved. Let's see if any of these cars can get repaired and get back out on the track. Really doesn't matter except for the finishing order here. If they finish 24th through 27th. Let's see if Ernie can get back out here. He's a D. It's the last part of the race. He's going to need a 3 to not the. And he does. Ernie gets a 3. So they get that Kodak car back out there. And Hut needs a 3. And Hut doesn't, so Hut will finish 27th. How about Mr. Bodine? He needs a 5 to get back out there, and he doesn't. The 26 car will finish 26th. And last but not least is Mark Martin, and he needs a 6 to get back out there, and he doesn't. So Mark, the only car was able to keep running was Ernie Irvin. Mark Martin will finish 25th, meaning Ernie will finish 24th. And Yellow and Checker is out together, folks. This race ends under a yellow checker. And your winner in that Haviland Ford of Davey Allison is your winner, folks. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There you go. And that Texaco Star. Davey needed that. He had problems early in the race, but he rebounded nicely. And he didn't lead many turns, but he led the right one. He led turn 50. He got the lead on turn 41, and he kept her. Finishing second, Jeffrey Bodine. I think that's the second race in a row Jeffrey finished second. I think he did the last race too, if I remember correctly. Ricky Rudd in that 5 car, he finishes third. How about this? Mr. Excitement in the 98, Jimmy Spencer. He finishes fourth. What's Jimmy driving? A Chevy? Yeah, he's driving a Chevy. Handsome Harry Gant finishes in the top 10 in that Oldsmobile. Bobby Hamilton. Nice run by Bobby. He finishes in the top 10. Sixth. And the King, his last race at Charlotte, folks, finishes in the top 10. How about that? Like to see that. The King finishing 7th, and he was the top Pontiac too, I believe. Let's make sure. Top running Pontiac in the top 10. How about that? Good job by the King. DW finishes 8th in that 17 car. And our points leader finishes 9th. Sterling Marlin and that Junior Johnson, number 22, is going to finish in the top 10. Good job by Sterling. And how about this? Jimmy Hensley just out of the top 10 in that 66 car of Cale Yarborough's. Finishes 11th. Yeah, good job, Davies. Right. Heck of a race. I agree with you. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, you're an Ernie Irvin fan, Phil? All righty. Finishing 12th in the 11 car. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Finishing 12th. He needs to get ahead of Allen. That's not the way to do it. Wally finishing 13th. And that Keystone number 16. Dick Trickle, he actually led this race, so he's a little disappointed, I would think, finishing 14th. Earnhardt, the same thing. He led some laps and turns up there. They only finished 15th. Kind of a disappointing day. And definitely, here's a disappointer. Old Kyle Petty. Sure, he has no luck at all. Jarrett in the 18 finishes 17th. And Rusty Wallace in the Deuce, he finishes 18th. And Mikey in the 30 car finishes 19th. And the Woods brothers and Morgan Shepherd in the 21 car finishes 21st. Not a great day for Shepherd. And Ted Musgrave, we didn't talk much about Ted today in that 55 car. He finishes 21st. Jimmy Sauter in the 89 finishes 22nd. And not a good day for Texas Terry Labonte in that Oldsmobile. The 94 Sunoco finishes 23rd. Got that black flag at the end of the race for leaking fluid. And the last car barely running is Mr. Ernie Irvin. And he'll finish 21st. I want to thank Philip Reynolds, Tim D, Doug Hunt, Frank, Tim Cleveland Ball Fan for stopping by here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We only got 3 more races to go now, folks. Let's look here. What 3 races we got left? We got Atlanta. I want to say we got Phoenix and Rockingham. So Rockingham's next. We're going to the Rock. And then we'll go out to the desert in Phoenix. And we'll end this season in Atlanta. So, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Oh, you're welcome, Doug. I thought it was a good race, too. A lot of excitement. And, like I say, on your way out of Charlotte Motor Speedway here in Concord, North Carolina, as our friend Alan Shaw across the pond likes to say, North Carolina. Y'all have a great evening. Y'all take care. Until next time.